What's up, everyone? Unfortunately, today's video is a little somber. We lost the great Tom Noonan. Now, if you're not familiar with Tom Noonan, you probably are. You just don't know the name. But if you do know the name, you know how important he was to our genre, both horror and horror adjacent, underground genre film. And he was in bigger films too, but this is the one a lot of horror fans revere him for, and that's the Monster Squad. Just he plays Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster, but he's goes under obviously moniker of Frankenstein in the film. And yeah, this one is it was huge for so many horror fans. A film that bombed in the box office, did not have legs, found legs and thrived on home video and created a lot of fans via home video. For me, I don't know if I ever rented this movie all but once, but it was always on television. Or not always. It was on enough where like I was familiarized with it. And you'll hear me talk about that on the channel a bunch. Like I did rent a lot of videos, but a lot of my discovery of these films was pretty much like watching Cinemax, Showtime, HBO, because I grew up. I did have a cable package, and super grateful for it. And like I know never, it literally helped form a lot of what I was because it's a monthly bill, yeah, and it was a lot cheaper back then, but it was more of a luxury to go rent films or movies all the time. So the fact that I had those cable channels, super grateful for because it helped when I couldn't rent videos. But Monster Squad is something that it was one of those films I saw young, could not remember the name of it because when you're flipping through TV, you don't have a video cassette that you rented, you're flipping through TV. There was no digital information bar at the bottom that told you what it was. Most of the time you had to go to channel 22 or whatever it was, and then it would have to scroll and you'd have to find it, and you wouldn't do that as a kid. So I remember loving this movie. Then later, a few years later, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 years old, finding out it was called the Monster Squad, was super pumped on it. And a lot of fans have come to love this film. This is a film that found life on video, as I said, and it blew up when this finally got a DVD release because there was nothing but a VHS tape. And I remember in 2006, it was fall 2006, they actually screened it at our local um, mom and pop mom and pop theater. And it was awesome to see it in that theater. And I remember going with some friends, and I was like so pumped. And then months later, I think a half a year later, maybe almost a year later, I think it was fall, like late summer, early fall, it comes out on DVD for the very first time. Lionsgate put it out. I think I still have the DVD. I can't get rid of it because I remember how special it was driving to FYE and getting that because it had a physical release finally. And yeah, a lot of what people love about Monster Squad is is Frankenstein, the character, played by Tom Noonan. He just played it so well, and he was just like so lovable as Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster. He was so lovable as that character, and it was just heart wrenching the end of it where he's screaming, and it's so brutal to know that he's gone. And he didn't do a lot of conventions that I went to. He did do one probably a year and a half ago. I think it was late 24. And my buddy of mine, Eric, had met him. He has a Monster Squad poster that's signed by, I think, almost everybody that could possibly be signed by, besides like John Grise. And it's he was looking a little worse for the wear then. It's not on me to divulge anything. Not that I knew anything, but I could just tell what he was going through something. Um, and I don't think it wasn't cancer or anything like that. He may I don't know what it was, but his faculties weren't all there. We'll just say that. And it bummed me out. It really did. Then he is someone, if you have seen the face, you know him, because I'm talking about Monster Squad, because this is like the film that everyone loves and reveres him for. But he was in so much. He was in Robocop 2. He was in Heat. He was in Manhunter. I mean, the guy just did Last Action Hero as the Ripper. That's what a lot of people my age, late 30s, that's what you know him from, Monster Squad and Last Action Hero. And I remember when House of the Devil came out in 2007, being ecstatic that I saw Tom Noonan in the credits of that. I remember me and my boys like getting that movie to watch it. It's a Ty West flick. Who Ty West did the X trilogy, X, Pearl, Maxine. And that he did that movie, and we loved that movie. And it was just extra special that Tom Noonan was in it, because we were all Tom Noonan fans. And if you don't know this, Adventures in Babysitting, Handsome John Pruitt, the dude with the hook, that's Tom Noonan's brother. Didn't know that until recently. I just watched Adventures in Babysitting a few weeks ago, and I found out that was his brother. Go figure. But yeah, it's such a bummer he's gone. But the dude had such a presence, a look, and he was just a big, towering figure. But he was in a film called Late Phases. Now, we're going to do a video on Late Phases, because I've done a whole podcast episode on this for the Sight and Sound podcast that is under the Heart Guide Media umbrella. So check that out as well. But so this movie is called Late Phases, and it came out in 2014. And this is a good old-fashioned werewolf flick. Huge monster fan. It's my favorite kind of horror movie, is a monster movie. Give me a pumpkin head. Give me a werewolf, a vampire, some kind of demon. Give me it. I want that. I want monsters. I love monsters. Monsters are the heart of horror. Be it a Freddy Krueger or a Jason, or a more traditional monster, a mummy, a creature, a vampire, a werewolf, whatever. Monsters are the lifeblood of horror, if you ask me. And slashers, obviously, no one's debating the love myself and everybody has for slashers, but the heart of what horror is started with monsters. And this is a amazing monster movie from 2014, so not even that long ago. And it has Nick D'Amici in it. Nick D'Amici has been in a bunch of stuff. You probably are familiar with him in Stakeland and Stakeland 2. Again, that dude just going back to back, like 2010 and then 2014, with a great modern vampire movie in Stakeland, and then a great modern werewolf movie in Late Phases. And the alternative title is Night of the Lone Wolf, which has another alternative title just called Night of the Wolf. Super confusing. But Ethan Embry's in this. Tom Noonan plays a priest. And this is just such a fun, awesome movie. It's very 80s-esque, early 90s-esque. Gives you those vibes. Throw Tom Noonan in it. You got a stew of some delicious stuff you're going to be eating inside, this great monster. It's a perfect monster movie. And it's really hard to overstate that. I feel like a lot of people write off a lot of newer movies, and it's very easy. I understand that more than anybody, because I watch a lot of movies and I'm just like, I'm meh on them, and I don't want to be. I want them to be good. So I saw this movie, I think, in mid 2016, and was blown away. I watched it on a whim. I watched it on a complete whim. I want to say it was on Shudder. I cannot remember if it was on Shudder or not. It may have been on Shudder or something. I just saw it. I might even did a VOD of it. I don't even remember. Some kind of rental. And I just remember watching it and being blown away. I could not believe it. And it was so awesome to see Tom Noonan in this. It's a super special movie to me, because we live in a time where it's hard to find a great werewolf movie. It really is. But these, we're gonna do a video on this on Late Phases, Night of the Lone Wolf, aka Night of the Wolf. But yeah, Tom Noonan, he just had that presence, and I think we take for granted these guys that have that filmic look and that filmic presence where they just look like they should be in a movie, or that they have that thing. There's so many people probably that don't know Tom Noonan's name, and you see him and you're like, oh, I know that dude. He was the Ripper in Last Action Hero. He was in Manhunter. He was Kane in Robocop 2. Like, he had such a powerful look to him. And man, it's such a bummer he's gone. And we lose people more and more as years go on. Obviously, we're all getting older. Everybody's fighting father time here, and no one, unfortunately, gets out alive. No one wins. But if you can live the life that Tom Noonan did and leave the the status in filmland that he did, he's not a Dustin Hoffman. To the average person, isn't going to know Tom Noonan. They aren't going to know him like they would De Niro, Robert Duvall, who we sadly just lost the other day as well. But to genre fans, to horror fans, these guys are super special. They hold such a place. And I just seeing the tributes already are amazing. Everybody that's got any kind of horror adjacent podcast or horror podcast or run any kind of Instagram page or immediately posting about all the great roles that he's in, because he was in so many. He was in so many awesome roles. And it's just such a bummer to know that he's not here, but what a relief it is that while we lost Tom Noonan, we have so much to be thankful for and so much cool stuff to watch. Like, throw on Robocop 2 tonight. Throw on a movie you haven't seen like Late Phases. Throw on a movie um like Monster Squad. Like, there's so many people that probably have not seen Monster Squad that you're in for such a treat. And it's largely due to the chemistry that the kids have. But Tom Noonan as Frankenstein, man, this is like what those special roles that an actor like Tom Noonan has and has portrayed. Even though we've lost him, it makes I think every genre fan feel comforted that he'll always, these people we lose, they'll always be with us in that sense, because there's memories tied to this from a young age for all of us, for most of us. And if there's not, you're going to have new memories made, because you're going to discover films you haven't seen with Tom Noonan in it. And I thought, on our Instagram page at Heart Gun Media, we always post, when we've lost someone in the genre, be it horror, action, big movie stars. But the horror and the genre film stars, the ones that maybe don't get their just due, and they're great, and they're great in everything they've been in, but they're not top tier, they're not A-list, and some of them are barely B-list. Those are the people I think we really should truly remember. We don't have to worry about anybody forgetting Robert Duvall. And as long as horror fans remember and revere movies like The Monster Squad, like Last Action Hero, like this movie Late Phases, a later film that he had, House of the Devil, as long as we remember and cherish those films, which horror fans and genre film fans in general do a great job at that, preserving the history of these fallen actors, I think, is super important, to push their legacy along. The people who may not have seen some of their work. And it is truly awesome. So we're going to be doing a video on this, and we're going to be talking werewolf films in a video coming tomorrow. But yeah, for right now, R.I.P. Tom Noonan. What a guy. What an awesome dude. Unfortunately, I never met him at a con or anything like that, but I did watch my friend meet him from 5 paces away. Like I said, it seemed like he was struggling just a year and a half ago. So whatever ailing and pain he was in, I hope that he's of course now out of it. So R.I.P. Tom Noonan. If you haven't seen any of his films, go to his IMDb, check out some films. Put him on your docket, put him in your queue to check out, because he is one powerful actor. When you see him in stuff and like Manhunter and things like that, when you see him in a film, you're not gonna forget him. So, and we certainly won't here at Hargan Media, as our videos roll on here. and we'll keep the legacy of Tom Noonan alive. R.I.P. Tom Noonan. Go watch you a Tom Noonan flick tonight. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for a werewolf episode. Bam.